Hello and welcome to the Entre Nous. Today I have the honor of welcoming Ewa Zielińska to the Entre Nous, a trauma-informed coach and specialized in narrative process. Her work focuses on helping people understand and transform the stories that shape their identity, especially after moments of rupture, loss, or transition. Through narrative practices, meaning making and trauma-informed lens, Eva guides individuals to reconnect with coherence, inner clarity, and their own inner power. Her approach is gentle, human, and rooted in the belief that every story holds the possibility of transformation. Thank you very much, Eva, for being here in the Entre Nous.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Laura, for inviting me. It's such a pleasure of being here with you and having this conversation about such an important topic, especially during these challenging times.
Yes. You work with people's stories in moments when identity feels shaken. How does someone begin to discover the story beneath the one that pain tried to define?
So I think that maybe first let's start with the definition of narrative.
Yeah.
Narrative is a language and stories that we use to navigate our world.
Mhm.
It's the meaning that we give to everything that is based on our subconscious beliefs. And,
Yes.
our beliefs shape our perspective, which influences our narrative. So
Yes.
it's, yeah, narrative is like it's a little bit broader definition than what we are used to. And, discovering our stories is a process. It's, being present and listening are very important factors that enable the person to start becoming aware of their programs, the
Mhm.
programs that they live by. And remember that presence, first of all, presence is not something that many people are used to, being here and now. So
Yeah.
when we are present with another human, um, that's when the healing space opens and it enables the person to start building trust with the practitioner. Um, and that can take time.
Mhm.
Building
Yes.
trust can take time, but it's essential. It's essential um, to in the narrative process.
Um, how does someone begin to discover the story beneath the one that pain, pain tried to define? It's just through this conversation, this narrative, this with the coach like you, like yourself.
Yes, so discovering is the process really, because it doesn't happen in one session or in two, in 10. It happens little by little.
Yeah.
And very often a good way or a helpful way is asking a client um, about, like, basically taking their example,
Mhm.
placing it in another person, saying, if someone, if someone's life, if someone's situation is this and this,
Mhm.
then what do you think? What could be the subconscious beliefs that this
Mhm.
person needs to have in order to co-create the outcome like that? So
Mhm.
sometimes, using different tools is very helpful. And sometimes um, showing a person's situation, placing it in another human, imaginative,
Yes, yes, yes.
I would say, is very helpful because it helps to build um, a different perspective, or it helps to show a different perspective. So instead of talking about themselves, which often, the thing is like, oh, I don't know, I don't know. It's like, okay, so
Yeah.
what if there is a third person and that's their situation? So that's one of the very helpful tools to use. And again, it's a process. So also paraphrasing is
Yes.
another tool that I use very often, just so I can really understand and not guess or not mind read a person.
Mhm.
I don't do mind reading. I always say, sorry, I don't have a crystal ball. Uh,
Yeah, of course.
so then when we use that, it helps people become aware of the programs or the beliefs that they unconsciously has been playing out.
Because most of the time we see things in other persons and not in us. Then it's easier when you do that because we can recognize in somebody else, and it's harder when it's us,
Exactly.
right? Perfect. And post-traumatic growth is often misunderstood as a positive outcome. How do you describe the real human process of growth after disruption?
Um, I will say that there is no one human
Mhm,
process of growth that we can call real because we are all unique.
mhm,
Our ways, the ways that we heal are also unique. So
mhm,
that's why, using different modalities is very helpful, depending, of course, adjusting them and depending on the client's need. So I would say that, calling something real or unreal, we need to be careful with that because we don't want to cause sometimes unintentionally, we don't want to um, make someone feel ashamed.
mhm.
Like, oh, that there should do something a certain way because this way is the right way or the correct way, and the other way is not the correct way. All is welcome. It's like
Yeah,
uh, everything is, everything is like the whole process is unique and the whole process is good. It's the same
okay,
as, we learn with the in our academy, HSA, we learn that there are no positive or negative emotions. Like every
exactly.
right? So they're
Everything is
comfortable,
good.
uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
usually we avoid using negative emotions. So it's the same with the process with post-traumatic growth. It's uh, um yeah, it's a process. So
And how do you describe, no, actually, when trauma takes away language or coherence, how do you help someone find words again or trust the ones that come?
so here I would say that paraphrasing again, paraphrasing is one way that I use to make sure that I understand what has been said. And also sometimes upon permission, because it's very important to ask permission.
Yes.
Um, Especially, asking permission creates healthy boundaries. And with trauma, very often those boundaries were crossed. So that's why asking
Okay.
permission is such an important thing to remember.
Yeah.
Um, so sometimes upon permission, I share something from my own personal life to
Hmm.
show that, no feelings or emotions are unwelcome, to show a different but a similar way that, when a human life or a human situation, is um it's kind of like it's similar and it's all welcome, that we are not perfect. Like we are like that you can't the way you are, it's totally okay.
Yeah,
So sometimes sharing things from my personal life is helpful. It's like I'm not really a fan of using this phrase, but I'm gonna use it for the lack of better words for now. It's like giving permission to someone that,
mhm,
it's like that it's okay to feel the way you feel or to act the way you act sometimes. Because if you could do it or if you could have done it better, you would have. It's like we
yeah.
always we always um we always behave the best we can with the resources that we have in a given moment, right?
Exactly. And it's also a way of telling the person, your client in this case, like if I was in your position, I'll do it the same, and then they feel that didn't do anything wrong. It was just something that they didn't know how to deal with all the tools, we can say like that they had in that moment.
Exactly, exactly. And thank you for saying that because now I'm thinking about the human need of belonging, how
Yeah.
we all want to belong, and I feel like uh, in that safe space is very important to show a client to validate, right? To validate their feelings, their emotions, and really who they are, because that really opens the um, space and possibility to heal.
Yeah. Yes. We were mentioning about the academy, right? And at the Happiness Study Academy, the Aspire model embraces a whole person approach. And from your perspective, which dimension often becomes the first point of access when someone begins healing their narrative?
So, it really all depends, I would tell you, because out of all the elements, right, spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional, probably the one that is the least common that when people, come to me is the physical. And it's not that the physical is, not like um the reason why the physical is really the least common when people come to me is that it's very rare that people connect the physical with emotional, because
Yeah, exactly.
almost always whatever is happening physically has the foundation in the
Mm,
emotional element. So I
yeah,
would say, out of all the five spire elements, really it really depends what the person comes with, because it can be that they want to find their meaning in life again, or relationally they want to improve some things. Emotional aspect is always there under every element. um, and intellectual when is also when they come and say, I want to change some things, and I actually want to become aware of why I have been co-creating my experience so far like that. So
yeah,
there is curiosity already behind the programs that we live in that very often are subconscious and we are not aware of them. So yeah. So really the
yeah.
first
It's amazing.
yeah, sorry.
No, no, continue, please.
I want to say that really there is the first point of access is it really depends on the person, because they're the ones who come and they're the ones who tell me what they would like to work on. So I am not the one who decides where we are going to begin. They are the ones who navigate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect. The HSA explores the idea of flourishing through meaning, connection, and inner alignment. How does narrative work contribute to creating a life that feels coherent and meaningful after trauma?
So, um, we always start with what the person comes with. Because again, every person is different. So we as
Yeah.
practitioners, I as practitioner, I am just curious. So the
Mhm.
process always involves, exploring the beliefs behind their situation and slowly, but surely, working on their identity, on the identity level, so we can align their desires with new beliefs. So whenever we are working on on human change, we always, in order for change to be sustainable, we always need to do it on the identity level. Otherwise, it's going to be short-lived. The change will be short-lived. Um, so yeah, so the narrative is really, as I said, uh, we are always looking at the underlying beliefs that are behind their situations.
Those things that we don't recognize in ourselves, those stories that are deep, deep down in us, and we don't know actually. We act sometimes, and we don't know why we do that. That's
Exactly.
amazing,
I
the narrative.
Yes, and I often say that when things go the way we want them to go,
Yeah. Oh, we
great.
are happy. And yeah, yeah.
Happy, Um, I think the struggle begins, or actually, I would say that this is a beautiful access, uh, that we get is when a beautiful access to our subconscious beliefs,
Mm,
the ones that we are not aware of, um, is when things don't go the way we planned or the way we wanted them to go. That's actually a great way to catch ourselves, uh,
mhm.
the words that we are saying to ourselves or in general. Um, it's such a great, because for example, something doesn't go the way I planned.
Yeah.
And one of like I would say that there are beliefs that are very common for us humans, um,
Mhm.
and you know things like, oh, what is wrong with me, or what is
Mhm.
wrong with them, or what is why is it always happening to me? You know,
Yeah.
why do they always do it to me? Like, so
Yeah.
those sentences are the I would say hidden beliefs that we've been living our life with. Those are the programs that we've been
Yeah.
living by. And those are important moments to recognize.
I'm
And
sorry,
yes,
Eva, it seems like the connection is, I'm losing you.
okay. Is it okay now?
Is that okay on your side?
It's okay on my side. Mhm.
Yeah, I can hear you, but your image is frozen.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you are frozen. Now
I am
yeah.
back. Am I back now or it's
Now, yeah, yeah. We have a delay. It seems like we have a delay, but
oh,
I think
o-
now it's good. Now it's good.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I repeat?
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about, right, the narrative that we have deep down in us, and sometimes when things don't go the way we want or we thought, you know, um, we start with those phrases, and those phrases you were saying that are the ones who shape, you know, most of
Yeah,
our lives. What's wrong
exactly.
with me? What's wrong with the other one? Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that.
And it's important, it's important to write down those sentences that come out really, that come out of frustration, anger, or sadness. It's very important to write
Yeah,
them down because um, this is exactly like this is like a beautiful way, or challenging at times, of course, but it's kind of like a direct direct access to our subconscious beliefs. It's in the moments when things don't go the way we wanted them to
yeah,
go.
we won. Yeah. And you freeze again, but don't worry, I can hear you. And now you're back. But that's okay. It's not a problem. Sometimes even our thoughts, right? We have to ask ourselves, is this my thought or is somebody else? Because sometimes we say things and we think things and actually they are not our thoughts.
Yes, and to that, I can tell you that very often, actually, almost always, uh, our thoughts, our behaviors are come from, again, unconscious loyalty to emotional states that we know.
Yeah.
So it's like a habit, like we are human
Mhm.
beings, and we also our emotions, like we also are um, used to certain emotional states, not only thoughts as well,
Mhm.
but also
Mhm.
emotional states. So
Yeah.
it takes like a, I would say, mental and emotional retraining.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
that's part of, realigning our narrative, or part of building a new, or expanding, I don't want to say building a new, but expanding our identity.
Mhm. Perfect. Um, Eva, many people experience an in-between phase, no longer who they were, but not yet who they are becoming. What supports someone standing in that uncertain transitional space?
I would say that um, a person who believes in them,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
a relationship that is supportive, and um, a human who, a person who validates their feelings.
Hmm.
That's very important because um, very often with traumas and challenging experiences, um, we often didn't feel validated, or we often could have felt like, oh, maybe something was wrong with me because I felt that way,
Hmm.
or I
Yeah.
feel that way. So, believing in someone, and, a relationship that is supportive and validating is
Hmm.
probably, I would say, is the most important thing when it comes to um, that process, like healing process, the transitional space.
And now to close, and I don't take more of your time, Eva. If you could leave one message for anyone who is rebuilding their inner world, what would you want them to carry with them?
I think that one thing, probably the most important thing for me, is to remember that life is a process,
Yeah.
and that, you know, all change is really about shifting our perspective.
Mhm.
And here I will add also the power of this moment. the power of now, because it really takes a second for our perspective to change. So, our life is really a process of uh, those moments, that, it doesn't sometimes, certain things can take a bit longer, but, and sometimes they can take like 1 second, and we
Mhm.
never. So being open to the fact that life is a process,
Mhm.
is, and I will add one more thing. It is crucial, I would say. And one more thing that I want to add is, when we are talking about trauma doesn't, it is, living in the now is not that easy for someone who has experienced different forms of traumas.
Yeah,
We are usually stuck in the past, or we are dwelling in the future. So being
exactly.
present for um, for some of us is a bit more challenging. It's easier said than done.
Yeah,
So taking life as a process, being like slowly working with the nervous system to regulate, to make the now moment safe again, is really, it's probably the most important thing when it comes to, the healing journey.
thank you very much, Eva. Thank you for this gentle and profound conversation. Your words remind us that healing is not about erasing what happened, but about finding coherence, clarity, and a new way to inhabit our own story. Thank you for your presence, your depth, and the light you bring to the work of transformation. Thank you, Eva. And to everyone watching, thank you for being here, and see you in the next Entre Nous. Thank you. Thank you, Eva.
Thank you so much.